it's a telling story. Everybody talks about the patriarchy and how evil the patriarchy is and so on, which is essentially saying when men do things. And a good example of the patriarchy at work is we have a spacecraft with 3 people on board. It's leaving at 24,000 miles an hour, heading to the moon, and it's tens of thousands, if not 100,000 miles away, and it explodes. And the patriarchy works by having one guy in charge telling the other people who are in charge of their guys that you guys are responsible for this, you guys are responsible for that, you guys are responsible for this. And all of those guys have the confidence to talk about and speak back and forth just the way we were talking about just a few moments ago. So the patriarchy is able to create a new spacecraft out of ideas, bring these guys back from the moon, and return them safely to the Earth. That's what patriarchal structure is. And military structure is even more regimented, but basically in the military you will follow the orders of the person who is your superior officer. Now, sometimes that leads to some very bad decisions, but you know what it does actually do? This is a really important point. Sometimes obeying orders in a straight down authoritarian thing like a military command can lead to bad decisions and bad outcomes. But the modern military is far more flexible than it used to be, and the idea that a private can't tell a general what to do, I don't think that's true anymore. I have to be careful about it, but you know, the military is making astonishing mental efforts to not cut themselves off from good ideas. So this is the patriarchy. And the patriarchy means that we can put 11 nuclear-powered floating oceans of steel out there and launch jets that weigh thousands and thousands of pounds and fly at 1,000 miles an hour and launch them and recover them and do all of this simultaneously, plus all of the supporting ships and the submarines, all of it. That's the patriarchy. I had a little experience with the matriarchy when I was working in Gainesville, Florida. I had a little 3D production company, and I had been a theater major there many years before, and I got to know many people at a very, very excellent theater called the Hippodrome Theater in Gainesville, Florida. In the Hippodrome, and this would be a while ago now, it'd be 93 maybe, something like that. The Hippodrome was not a patriarchy. The Hippodrome was a matriarchy. And when I went in, I would do the commercials for them for like $300. I'd do this animation. But basically, when I would go in to hear about the show so that I could come up with a commercial for it, I went into these meetings, and these meetings that were run by the actors who ran the theater ran it in the very loving, very sensitive, extremely caring, and fully equal environment of a matriarchy, where they said during the meeting, "Look, I'm not. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just, my position is this." And do you know what happened during that 2.5 hour meeting? You're going to think I'm making this up. I swear to God, I'm not that bright. I'm not that imaginative. I sat at that meeting while these women took 2.5 hours. I'm not joking. 2.5 hours to determine whether or not their flyer would go out on goldenrod or canary yellow. 2.5 hours. And it ended with one of them leaving the room in tears. And the reason that happened was because if you are going to put every single thing up to a vote, and every single thing has to be approved by everybody, and then you find out that they're going to go with the goldenrod after everything I said and all the points I made about canary, and it's like, well, what else do you expect? If you're telling people that your input on whether we use canary or goldenrod colored paper for our flyers, and you just spent the last hour defending canary and trying to defeat that bitch who's in the goldenrod pocket, if you spend that much time and effort on such trivial things, you get absolutely nothing done. It just nothing. And not only do you not get anything done, you don't get anything done, and you make lifelong enemies in addition. So, and Puma Savage says, I'm a female and I've never led like that. LOL, that would drive me nuts. I'm very glad you said that. I don't mean to imply for a second that this is all women like this. In fact, I've worked mostly for women producers most of my life, and some of them have been great, and some of them have been terrible, but I didn't notice them to be any better or worse than the men. But they were using, it was a patriarchal system. She was the producer, I was the editor. She's my boss. I want to do something one way, she wants to do something else. Guess who wins? Okay? And so things get done. And when you realize that perfect is the enemy of the good, when you realize that if you're going to spend all of your time arguing about trying to make something so trivial be equal and fair, when in a patriarchal system, including women in a patriarchal system, what would have happened was, okay, and we're going to put these things out on Goldenrod. Bill? Yeah. What do you think about Canary? Canary's nice, but we're going to go with Goldenrod. Anyway, moving on. And, you know, it's just insane. It's insane. Anyway, yeah, so how I got there from H over H, 8 over 8, I am unaware, but that's not surprising that I'm unaware. What happened to my screen there? There we go. All right, let's see what else we got on the menu here. What? But I'm already logged in. For the love of God. Hang on. And we were on kind of a technical roll, too. So apparently closed a window that I need. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, here we go. The order has changed. Oh, it's Cheryl Toomey's birthday. Happy birthday, Cheryl. I think somebody might have mentioned it in the comment section, but it's here on the membership page. So happy birthday to you.